Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I go by the names Jamisha and Jay, and I am a sculptor, jewelry maker, flower preservationist, and today we're actually going to be talking about my first ever order. So let's get right into the video. So I launched my business in December of 2023, and it was crickets for months. Honestly, it took months of posting videos and images of my art to get my first ever order. And truthfully, I got a little discouraged because I was pouring my heart and soul into these sculptures, into these pieces of art that were one of a kind, and no one really supported me. Only a handful of people supported me, and it got to the point where I told myself that if no one buys my art, it's okay because I can wear everything that I create, and that's more jewelry for me. More art in my life. And I'm laughing now, but it was kind of discouraging. Like, literally, I got kind of sad about people not buying my art, and not only that, but people that I supported not supporting me. And I know that my art is very taboo and niche and different, and a lot of people don't know why I do this, and it took me a while to figure out why I sculpt. And I can talk about more about why I sculpt yonis in a different video, but it's something that brings me joy and it's very empowering, and I feel like it's just my calling to sculpt and create and to make other people feel divine and they're feminine. And I think that's just what I want to do with my life. But anyways, it took months of sculpting and just being vulnerable and sharing parts of myself on social media to actually acquire my first order. And this was an organic order. I did not know the person, and they actually followed me because I was posting consistently. And I actually posted that I was going to have my first ever pop-up shop. So if you wanted something on my website, you should buy it now because it might not be here once I have the pop-up shop. And as soon as I posted a post about my first ever pop-up shop, an hour later, someone bought periwinkle. This is periwinkle right here. Honestly, it took me a very long time to let her go. It took me like a week. It took me a week to ship out that order because she was just so beautiful and I didn't want to sell her. But I told myself, Jamisha, you cannot keep everything that you make. You listed it on the website. This was your first ever order. Send out the necklace ASAP. But anyways, she bought periwinkle, and periwinkle was actually, I think, one of 5 necklaces, a part of my Valentine's Day drop, my 2024 Valentine's Day drop. And those pieces took me a very long time because it was different from my first drop, because I wanted to mimic a flower. Like, I love flowers. I preserve them. I actually got into flower preservation after I started sculpting, but I kind of wanted to mimic a flower, I think. I don't even know if I was doing it like while I was creating, if I had in mind that I was sculpting a flower, or I don't know. But most of those pieces in that collection look like flowers of some sort. And I feel like my Valentine's 2024 collection is by far my favorite collection. I feel like I really experimented, and every piece looks so unique, and each piece took me hours. I think that periwinkle actually took me 5 to 6 hours to sculpt by hand, and I was just sitting down in the zone doing it, no rush, listening to music. And then at certain points I actually turned off the music and made my own music. It felt very therapeutic. Every time I sculpt, it's just therapy for me. It's a way for me to release and get closer to my femininity and also to my divine self. And anyways, so I sold that piece, and my life changed, honestly. Not only because I sold that piece, but because I was vulnerable enough to share my experience after I sold the piece. So let me explain. Basically, the piece sold. I recorded myself crying because I started crying because I'm like, this is a big deal. I just sold my first ever sculpture. Like, someone bought one of my sculptures that took me hours to make, that I poured my heart and soul into, and that just made me feel so whole. And like, I was doing good work and that people wanted to support me. And I started crying and I was like, maybe I should record this. So I propped up my phone and I actually recorded myself crying. I'll cue the video.
I'm crying because I just made my first sale and I put a lot of time, effort into my business and my pieces, and somebody just bought periwinkle. I was just sitting down working, literally working, and I got a notification and I'm like, oh my god, somebody just bought one of my yoni necklaces.
And y'all, that's my cat in the back. I'm like, what is that movement? That's my cat. But anyways, I recorded myself crying and that video blew up. I got over 1,000 followers on Instagram, and on TikTok I got over 1,000 followers, and I just wasn't expecting that much support from people that I didn't know, because I was doing this for I think 3 months and it was crickets. And then all of a sudden I was getting all of this love and support, and people actually DMing me telling me that my art strongly impacted them and that they can't really afford it at the moment, but they're going to keep their eyes open and they're going to save to invest in it. And I was also getting orders before my first ever pop-up shop. And I don't know, it was just surreal to me. I just felt very whole and like this is my calling. It was just affirming, very affirming. And later on, I actually met up with the person who purchased the necklace. They invited me to their friend's art exhibit, and I went to the city and I met up with them. We took pictures and I had a very good time. And I realized that my art could open doors for me if I was consistent and if I continued to show up as my authentic self and keep my mission in mind. I don't know, I'm just excited. Like, since then I've gotten plenty of orders. I've done multiple pop-up shops. I've went viral a few times on YouTube and TikTok. I haven't gone viral yet on Instagram. Like, that video that blew up was on my main account, but my business accounts keep getting shadow banned because of the type of art that I create. But I do have 2 separate accounts for my flower art and also my sculpture art, so I'm trying to like bypass that. But anyways, that was the story behind my first ever order and how it changed my life. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment, and sign up to my newsletter if you want to get first dibs on my art drops and you want to know more about me as an artist and a person, because I send out newsletters once or twice a week. And sometimes I get kind of personal in them, and I'm actually working on revamping my blog. But thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Make sure you remember that you are the bomb diggity and don't let anyone tell you otherwise.